Go ahead and start questions with Paul, who's second row left today.
Coach, we've talked about a chore before. I know you probably weren't happy with his turnovers the other night, but he's been pretty consistent. And I remember you mentioned around Christmas time you had a good talk with him about getting more consistent. Just your thoughts on what's kind of changed with him and his game since then.
Yeah, if you look at it just face value from a numbers perspective, you know, his production that way has been really good in SEC play. I mean, I don't know off the top what it is, but I know it's high in rebounding and he's scoring it, and has a good field goal percentage. But at the same time, the other parts of the game that don't show up, which we talk a lot about in here, certainly the turnovers show up on a stat sheet, but just not being assignment correct at times with the scout, blowing some missed checks that end up being huge, pivotal turning points in the last game that we played. But no question about it, his comfort level is better. His productivity has been better. And I think he's in a really good space, and hopefully that will continue.
We'll go front row left, middle to Sam, and then to Colin.
Two questions for you about Josh. First, what do you think it is about his jump shot that makes it so difficult to guard for other opponents?
I mean, I think he's got the surprise factor. He's obviously not a lengthy guy, but when he shoots it like he's a 6'6" dude. And it from the time it goes to, when he decides he's going to shoot the ball till the release point, it's dynamic and fast and explosive, and there's not much you can do about it unless you're really on it defensively. Like you got to be anticipating it and knowing it's about to go up in order for you to get a really good contest. And, he's proven to be able to hit contested shots. And then with his experience now and his improvement at being, a three-level scorer more than, a jump shooter, the threat of him, giving you some sort of move that he's developed to get downhill is in the back of your mind too. So that maybe will make the defense not quite as aggressive with him, but he's just, keeps working on his craft and keeps getting better at it. And, it's difficult, but it's unique. It's a very unique ability and game that he possesses.
Have you guys done any tweaking to his form since he got here as a freshman, or has it just been, just staying as it is?
Heck no. I'm not. I don't. That's when coaching world, like if someone can make shots, no matter what it looks like or what the routine is, we certainly don't mess with that.
I know you've got a short turnaround between games. What have you tried to focus on in terms of what you can control and, about your team going into this next one?
Yeah, we're in one of those stretches that everybody goes through across the country, 3 games in 7 days. And it can be a lot, but it is what it is. Nobody's complaining about it. We're at the end of the stretch. We got today, a prep day, and then we play tomorrow, and then we'll finally have a day off on Wednesday heading into the weekend. It's part of the deal, and we understood it. And, when we entered it, and, it's been a mixed bag of results so far. It ends tomorrow with that 3 game in 7 days. But our kids have been really good all year long in terms of their approach to practice, in terms of their energy level in practice, and for the most part, their ability to consume a scouting report and try to get it on the floor.
We'll go to coach's right to Jacob in the front row.
I know a lot of things change year after year, but is there anything you can consistently prepare for whenever you're getting ready to play a Nate Oates team?
Well, you better get back on defense. They're about possessions and pace and playing fast, and always one of the better transition teams in the country. And again, going into tomorrow night's game, they're second in KenPom for offensive efficiency. I mean, they shoot the ball at all 3 levels, really, really well. The 3, the 2, the free throw, and then they don't turn the ball over. I mean, they're very stingy with the ball that way, and they play a ton of guys. I mean, that's probably what's most different, and is they play a lot of guys. They play a lot of guys. Some guys will play certain games, some guys won't, but they more often than not play a lot of guys. So that adds to understanding scouting report personnel. It's adds a couple more guys than normal too. Our guys' minds of trying to figure out, who they're matched with, throughout the game. But, you're going to have to, just understand that if you get a chance to score a basket, there better be zero celebration, because, they're going to respond quickly and get out of the net and spray it up the court and try to, score before you even know what hits you. And you can talk to your blue in the face, show them the video, but guys that haven't played against that style, it's like going out in the cold and you're shocked by it, and it takes a little time to adjust. So that's certainly something we're trying to get into our kids' heads.
Second row middle to Danny P.
Coach, two big opportunities at home this week. Just talk about, I think some of the students are filtering back in. I think classes start, I don't know when, but just talk about having a good atmosphere at the Hump these next two games.
I mean, every game is the Super Bowl, right? I mean, I've been saying that since I've arrived. We faced a Kentucky team that, was 0-2, had lost their last two games, and now we're facing an Alabama team that has lost their last two games. So depending on how you look at it and what you believe in, is it ideal or not, it doesn't matter, but that's just the factual situation that we're in. Certainly, glad to be playing at home. We played very well in our last game at home. I'm glad that our students are trickling back into Starkville, and hopeful that the community and the fan base will continue to support this team.
Got time for a few more. We'll go back to Paul, second row left.
Coach, any update on Jay Moore after he went down the other night?
Again, you calling it a milder sprain. I haven't seen him or talked to the trainer today, so I'll know more this afternoon.
And the injury report comes out later tonight, too. Go ahead, Colin.
In terms of shooting the three, Alabama's really proficient at that, but you mentioned their depth, and they've got a lot of guys who can hit from different positions as well. What's a focus for not getting too spread out and, trying to keep, guard the edges as well as the paint?
Yeah, it's a great question, and if you got any insight, please come and share it with us about 2 o'clock this afternoon. But, they're hard to guard. They've always been hard to guard. They're obviously won a ton of games and championships, and they're doing a nice job over there. And you got to decide, we've played them enough times now. We know, what they're going to do for the most part. Certainly it's tweaked each and every year with adding new wrinkles and some changing in philosophies, and certainly the personnel changes. But the core of what they're trying to do is the same. And, our job is, like always, to try to figure out what we think is the best, considering who we have, on the court, trying to defend them, and then, have an adjustment or two ready if it doesn't go our way.
Sam, go ahead.
Yeah, kind of on that, with the last year's game at Tuscaloosa, the last one against Alabama, do you even use that as part of the scouting report, or not really, with the teams just being different and different players and things like that?
Yeah, last year's games are for every game part of the process. You try to glean something from everything. If it's this year's games versus other opponents, which everybody does, certainly you're going to look at last year's games. But, in this era that we're playing in now, there's such, different personnel for both teams that it's probably doesn't hold the same weight that maybe it used to prior to, the portal and the transferring. But definitely, good or bad, you can learn some things from watching that kind of stuff.
Anything else for Coach? All right.
Appreciate it.
See you guys tomorrow.